And we are live. Hi everyone. Hi Marcus.
Hi, great to meet you. Thanks for having
Yeah,
me.
yeah, of course. It's good to have you there. I'm gonna wait a few minutes to bring people on the show. Send a few message on our Discord and so on, and then we're gonna start.
Perfect. Sounds good.
Give me a few seconds. Up. And I think we can start. People are coming. I can see the first one coming. Up. Yes. So hi everyone. I'm gonna briefly present the Arch. So what is the Arch? The Arch is a community of builders in the Web3, and we aim to help each other on any Web3 vertical. It can be recruitment, development, VCs, marketing, and so on. And the goal here is to help each other building Web3 project, cool Web3 project. And we also organized a live show twice per week where we receive great builders and great projects like Marcus from Limewire today. And so, yeah, very happy to have you on the podcast. And yeah, maybe you can start by presenting yourself and telling us how did you get into crypto?
Sure. Happy to. I mean, I've been in the crypto space for quite some time now.
Okay.
Since you are from France, you might know Bitpanda as well. I've
Yeah.
been working for Bitpanda, sort of the German, the Austrian exchange, the biggest pretty much in Europe for quite a few years before I joined Limewire. I was heading the German speaking area there, Germany, Austria, and Switzerland. That's also where
Okay,
my
great.
accent is coming from. And yeah, I was heading that. That was an amazing time, especially during the bull market, obviously, with like massive growth. And we did the first TV campaign, which was super exciting, and making crypto investments pretty much mainstream at Bitpanda. Until then, I would say like 1.5 years ago, roughly, I joined Limewire as a COO.
Okay.
Dug a bit deeper into the rabbit hole from crypto investing now to NFTs and Web3 for creators pretty much. And yeah, since then been building the first NFT subscription model for creators and for artists. So really making NFTs now mainstream after crypto investing. That's pretty much what I set out to do. Yeah.
And how did you get into crypto? What brings you to crypto in the first place?
Oh, I started like my first interest was really early on. That was still in my teenage years when I was back at home in my small teenage cave, pretty much in my childhood home. I was super curious back in the day. I actually wanted to just get some Bitcoin. It was pretty much the only thing that everybody talked about in the crypto space. But my mom didn't want to give me a credit card, which is why I did end up not getting any Bitcoin at this point, unfortunately. And then for quite some
So you
time was
start
really.
mining.
Sorry?
So you start mining to get your
Oh, I
first
wish,
Bitcoin.
I wish. I just ditched the topic for a couple of years, unfortunately. Would have been much wiser in hindsight to just start mining instead, yeah. So yeah, for a couple of years after that, really didn't touch the topic that much until 2016 aroundish, when I really got hyped again, started investing a bit, burned my fingers a bit in 2017 when the bull market was over. And since then, pretty much, yeah, like was diving into the topic deeper and deeper every year, it feels like.
Okay, really cool. And maybe you can tell us how did you get into LimeWire? How like are you as a genesis of the project? How did you join the team? Like how it worked?
Yeah, so Limewire to me was, I mean, just an amazing story. So Paul and Julian, the two
Okay.
founders of Limewire, pretty much approached me about 1.5 years ago when I was still at Bitpanda, and they had this idea of bringing Limewire as a brand back. So for anybody who's not aware, Limewire used to be one of the biggest peer-to-peer file sharing platforms of the early 2000s. So I personally downloaded loads of music back of Limewire. That was pretty much how I got my first music on my first iPod. And so did 50 million other monthly active users of the platform back in the day. It was really big in the US, in the UK, also in Europe. And they, like Paul and Julian, just had this amazing idea of bringing the brand back. They really got hold of the social media accounts of the domain, the limewire.com domain. We re-registered all the trademarks, but they were really coming. Half of the team is really coming from a software background, so they are extremely knowledgeable in building software products and platforms, but not so much in the crypto space. So the goal was really to team up with the other half of the team, which is now completely crypto natives. So really guys that have been working in the space for a couple of years already, just like myself. And we've now teamed up 1.5 years ago, roughly, to pretty much build the first mainstream ready NFT platform for creators. So really something that anybody can use, and that's really straightforward for any artist.
So there is no direct link between the old Limewire's team and the new one?
No, the team is really completely new. It's also a new entity. It's really all the brand assets, the domain, the social media accounts we are using, with a completely new concept. But I think the cool bit is that if you think about it from a concept perspective, what Limewire did back in the day in the early 2000s with this peer-to-peer model of sharing content is almost what you could say was like the first movement towards the crypto space, right? Where everything was decentralized. You had just this one platform where everybody shared their content. And now we're actually taking this brand to the Web3. So it's a very connected story, actually. Making that leap from one of the biggest Web2 platforms of the .com to a Web3 platform now in the NFT space.
And how did you got the idea to take back this name and to make it live again?
Oh, that was obviously also a lot of luck, because the assets were with completely different people. There was one former employee we bought the domain from. There were others that had the social media accounts. We also looked into other platforms, to be fully honest, but Limewire was just by far the best fit. I couldn't imagine any other platform or any other brand that would fit the purpose of what we are doing better. I mean, it's music and creator related. It's one of the very early ones, probably one of the OGs of downloading music back in the day. So really best fit in my opinion.
Yeah. But from a marketing strategy, it's very interesting to look for an old name and try to renew the brand. I mean, to renew the philosophy than to build a new name from scratch. Like
100%. I think it's was definitely a very smart move and something that got us a lot of headway. So I think it's a differentiating factor but definitely. However, what's always challenging, and that's something you shouldn't underestimate when you do something like this, is everybody has a certain opinion or a certain concept in mind already when they think about Limewire. So what's much more difficult now for us is actually conveying the message that we are back with a new concept. Because if we were only to do brand marketing now, everybody would think it's just the old platform coming back, or it's just marketing for the old platform of the early 2000s. You always need to explain and deliver the concept and all the context around it, why you're back and what you're doing.
Yeah, okay, that's very interesting. And so, maybe you can start talking about the project, what you are aiming to do, what's your objective, what are your goals, what have you done so far. If you want to share your screen, showcase the platform, I can even put the link here up for the users.
Sure. Ready to?
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, I mean, so what we started out doing last year in like June aroundish last year was with the first iteration of the platform, which is pretty much a fully fledged NFT marketplace for music artists primarily. So any artist could come to the platform, launch the NFT project, very straightforward. Any fan could buy into the NFTs, trade it with other users on the platform. So pretty much what you would imagine an NFT marketplace looks like, with a lot of the usability, with built-in wallet infrastructure, payments, and everything you need to be fully operational. But what we learned very early on was a lot of the artists gave us the feedback that it's actually, they don't necessarily only want to do a single NFT drop, but actually build up their Web3 following. So if they go to an NFT marketplace today, like OpenSea or any of the others, they do a drop, they might sell it out, but they are only collecting a whole lot of wallet addresses and can't really communicate with these fans. So what we started building, and that's something we just launched this year actually, I can actually quickly show you how it looks like.
Yeah, sure.
Check if I see how that works. Yes, here we go. So what we started building is pretty much almost a news feed based platform. So with the new Limewire, you can see everything in a very simple feed. You can see all the content pieces, from static images to video content, which you can play on the platform. Everything straightforward in a newsfeed based format. But what makes it super unique, and where we leverage all the back end infrastructure, the NFT infrastructure that we built, is that if you subscribe to an artist, like let's say our Limewire Originals channel that I subscribed to already, if you subscribe to that, every single content piece that is being posted in there will automatically be an NFT for you into your library as a fan. And that's how we pretty much create this unique journey between artist and fan, because they don't just upload content like on an Instagram or on a YouTube, but they share exclusive content with their most valuable fans. You can always see how many subscribers you have. And if I was to post a new asset in the Limewire Originals channel as the artist, there would automatically be 1,451 NFTs, one NFT to every single subscriber into their newsfeed.
Okay, so all those posts are NFTs.
All these posts are completely NFTs. They will be minted on the blockchain. You can then also hit your library and then see every single asset and trade it with other fans.
It's like a mix between Lenster and Lens and OpenSea? Or?
Yeah, pretty much. I would say it's a lot of artists actually say it's a mix of Patreon or OnlyFans and OpenSea. So you're pretty much bringing together the consumption of the content, where you can just see everything in a news feed. You can also play music files. So this is actually a song, an exclusive song from Sean Kingston that we just released recently. And you can very easily just listen to the song on the platform. It's super straightforward. But the unique bit about it is you're not just paying to get exclusive content from the artist. You're actually getting every single NFT, every single piece as an NFT into your wallet. So you can trade it with other fans. You can buy more of these if you want to collect more items of a single artist. And the artist can then also communicate with you as a fan, because there is direct messaging functions. There's comments in the feed, in the posts. So a lot more interaction than just selling and buying of NFT assets.
Every time a user like or comment, does it make an NFT?
No, it's really only the main asset. So everything the artist creates becomes an NFT. The comments, the reaction, and everything below that is pretty much the engaging with the fans with the NFTs.
Okay, and so there is only one NFT that user can or any user can claim the post and have the NFT of the content.
Yeah, we do that fully automatically. So let's say you come to Limewire as a creator, and you just say the Arch is now hosting all their podcasts directly on Limewire.
Okay.
Every time you start, the podcast will automatically be a collection of a number of NFTs correlating directly with the number of subscribers you have. So if you have 100 subscribers on the feed, it automatically will become a collection of 100 NFTs, one to every subscriber.
Okay, really cool. And these are free to mint, like you?
Completely free. We are minting them on Algorand, most of them. Some per request have already been minted on Polygon and Ethereum. Depends a bit on the artist. But it really, as a user, that's exactly the leap we want to try to achieve. As a user, even if you're not fully Web3 knowledgeable yet, it just comes into your wallet directly. You don't even understand fully that you are holding an NFT. You just understand that you own a part of this asset. You can trade it, you can sell it, you can buy it. that's pretty much the user experience.
And is there a secondary market if you want to sell the free NFT you got from your, like, even I don't know, like I'm following a new artist, he has 100 subscribers and in 2 years he will have 1,000. Can I sell and trade my first 100 top 100 viewer?
Yes, 100%. So that's exactly why we set out with this concept, because if you're incentivized as a fan to follow an artist and a creator very, very early on, because
Okay.
these items of a creator might become super valuable if the artist in a year or in 2 years becomes much bigger and has a lot more followers. And what we also have envisioned pretty much for the end of this year is a decentralized creator economy, which is pretty much redistributing revenues of ads, advertisement, of pay-per-view, like anything this content might generate outside of the subscriber community to the holders again. So you as a subscriber, you as an NFT holder automatically become somewhat like the investor almost, or the shareholder into that artist, which makes the whole concept super unique actually.
Okay, that's quite good. That's a quite good idea. And you as a company, I suggest, I mean, I don't know, you tell me, you got your revenue from secondary market trade, or you take small fees on the secondary market, or how does it work?
Yeah, there's a couple of flow of funds or revenue streams. So the one is artists can decide if they want to monetize on the subscription. So a lot of the artists allow you to subscribe for free, but we also have artists that charge a monthly subscription fee for the exclusive content, and we just take a small share of that monthly subscription fee.
Okay.
And then, as you just described, anything on a secondary market, which is being traded as part of the assets, there's a small platform fee. But everything else, the royalties go directly to the artist, and the revenues will be later distributed to the NFT holders.
Okay, really cool. And how many artists do you have so far?
Oh, I think on the platform we have now 400, a bit more than 400 artists with subscription pages that they have created already.
Okay.
And I think we have a backlog of around 8,000, which are still waiting to come to the platform.
Okay.
These are all smaller and emerging artists, and what we started doing a couple of weeks ago is launching headline artists. So we have a backlog of around 15 headline artists that we work with, including Sean Kingston, who did an exclusive drop. We have Nicky Jam, which is coming in a couple of weeks. So a lot of big ones, which we will release over the next months.
Okay, that's really cool. And okay, that's very interesting. And what are the plans for Limewire? What is the roadmap?
The roadmap is really so we started releasing that new platform feed model pretty much this month, and the most exciting bit for the next weeks to come is our token launch. So we kicked off our Limewire token actually last year already. We did a private sale of the Limewire token with a whole list of very knowledgeable VC investors, including Kraken Ventures, Crypto.com Capital, HiveMind, GSR, Ericsson Capital. So a lot of really big funds where we collected around 10 million USD. And now we are headed towards the public sale. The public sale is actually happening next week, Tuesday, so on May 2nd. And everything will happen on LMWR. So if you want to check it out, just go to lmwr.com. That's really the one big topic for the next months to come.
Share this. Okay, very nice. So why are you doing a token sale? After what is the goal of your token in the Limewire ecosystem?
That's really the next piece, one of the key pieces that is missing in user experience on the platform. So we will use the token to gamify a lot on the platform. For instance, if you want to direct message an artist, you can end up in the direct messages on the top if you pay with Limewire tokens. We will also redistribute some of the advertising or pay-per-view revenues between NFT holders and artists in Limewire token again. You can tip artists with the token. You can pay for one-of-one collections from a creator if you want to have a special item, and all this is going to be gamified through the token. And that's, I think, by far the coolest gimmick of the token on the platform. We will have 3 different tier levels. There will be a basic level depending on how many token you hold, and if you hold more, you can get to advanced and pro level. And if you hold a pro level status on Limewire, you will automatically get access to exclusive NFT drops. So we frequently do curated drops with the headliners we are working with, and these will only be accessible for those holders that have enough token on the platform.
Okay, really cool. And like, so if I understood, like I own some LimeWire token, I can, let's say, directly contact an artist I like. Like, I mean, how does it work? Like, I sent 100 LimeWire token and I can have a one-to-one call with the artist, or what are the limits? How it works?
It depends a bit on the artist. So we give them the option to decide how and what they want to monetize on. It also depends highly on what their community looks like. There's some artists that probably won't do it. There's a lot of artists which have a very strong community, which gamify a lot already. And especially for these guys, we are setting up a structure like this, where you can, for instance, as a token holder, pay to end up in the direct messages on the top. And what we also, that's actually one of the cool bits about the tokenomics, which I haven't mentioned yet. What we also start implementing with the token is what we call the artist fund, the Limewire artist fund. So
Okay.
13% of the tokenomics are really meant to empower emerging artists and upcoming artists. And we will give the community a bit of voting rights, so a bit of a decentralization DAO principle almost, where we let them decide which artists we should push next. So we will use those funds to produce videos for the artists, get them the assets ready for the platform, to really give them a stage where they can build their following, and especially focusing on the emerging ones that don't have a major label deal signed, for instance, already.
To help them grow.
Exactly, to help them grow and to give them a stage.
Nice. That's very nice. And so you do all this on the platform. So let's say I'm an artist and I want to do a private concert for my from my fans on LimeWire, or like, so can I do my concert on the LimeWire platform, or I will have to go on another platform like that?
Yeah, what you can do already is share anything that is in a digital format today.
Okay.
So you can do video content that is recorded. You can do audio files, podcasts.
Can it be live?
It can all live only with actual links, but there is solutions around it. You can do a live, a gated video with a hidden link on YouTube, for instance. That's pretty straightforward. But yeah, we're already looking into solutions to also do live formats and other types of content creation that can be within the platform. At the moment, it's really we are hosting the content and then it's streamed on the platform for the users.
Okay, really good. And how do you compare yourself from other NFT marketplace? Because there are tons of NFT marketplace and like.
Yeah, I think what makes it really unique, and that's probably something where we see no other NFT marketplaces has really managed to do that, is the consumption and also the display of the content. So
Yeah.
if I go on an OpenSea, for instance, today, the only reason why I would go there is to trade the assets. I'm probably not going to go to OpenSea to consume the content or the art.
Yeah, it's quite ugly.
Exactly. And that's exactly what we try to take upside down. So our approach, our platform is really for the mainstream user and fan of an artist, and not so much only for the Web3 users. So you can have pretty much both experiences. You can just come on a platform, consume the content, don't even realize you're holding NFTs, but pretty much seeing the benefits or using the benefits of NFTs. And at the same time, you can be a completely Web3 user, just connecting your MetaMask wallet and doing the usual Web3 experience.
Okay, so if I'm not Web3 users, I can go there, subscribe, and how does it work on the back end? You are creating a non-custodian wallet for me. How do you?
Yes, exactly. You will see right away on the platform there's a custodial wallet in the Limewire platform if you're not a Web3 user. So if you create your account, we automatically create a library for all the NFTs for you. We automatically create a USDC, a Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Algorand wallet. You can pretty much straightforward start using those. And you can also just pay in credit card. If you want to pay your NFTs or subscriptions by credit card, just type it in and it's pretty straightforward. Actually, also with Apple Pay. So really pretty straightforward user experience for any Web2 user. While at the same time, when you're a Web3 native, you just connect your wallet and pretty much do the usual process.
And which solution do you use to create a custodian wallet for users with just an email?
So
FNS or something like that? Or?
we are partnering with Fireblocks
Okay.
on a lot of the wallet infrastructure, but it's half of it is really in-house built. That's something that took quite some time to set it up. Yeah.
Yeah. And so today, with the track record that you have, what is the amount of Web2 users that you onboard and the amount of Web3 people we just get with their own wallet? Do you know
That's
more
a
or
really
less?
good question. So I think initially we had a lot of Web3 users coming to the platform because they heard that we are working in the NFT space and Limewire is now back as a Web3 company. But the more artists we are onboarding now, we really see that like a lot of the payments are happening in like with
In
credit
chat?
cards.
Yeah.
Exactly. Fiat currency, credit card payments. There's not that many users. I think the share of users actually connecting their wallet is relatively low now. Might
Okay.
also be because of the crypto prices for sure. But my feeling is that a lot of Web2 users are just coming over and testing it out there.
Okay, cool. And which blockchain are you using? Like, where are all the NFTs?
NFTs are primarily minted on Algorand. That was also
Okay.
one of the big topics that a lot of the artists have raised last year already when we started working with them. Main topic, especially last year, was which chain are you minting on and what about the environmental impact?
Okay.
Which is why we decided very early on to go with Algorand as a default option, which is super scalable, very easy to use for any artist, low cost, like high efficiency. But we had collections already that depends a bit on the artist and on the project that were minted on Ethereum. We also had one on Polygon. So we
As
pretty
the
much
artist can
multi-chain.
choose where his NFT is going to be deployed?
Yeah, so we have from our technical infrastructure, we are completely multi-chain. It's very easy for us to mint on different chains.
Okay.
We by default we do Algorand for every artist because most of them just want to get started and mint something, where Algorand is just extremely powerful. But yeah, we can on demand. We can very easily also do it on Ethereum or Polygon.
Okay. To be honest with you, I don't have Algorand experience. It's one of the blockchain I haven't tried yet. But how is the user experience, and is it EVM compatible, and
It
what are
is
the gas fees?
extremely scalable. So what we use with Algorand, we started adopting very early on also fractional NFTs,
Okay.
which means that the cost of minting for us is really virtually zero. Like even collections where we have 10,000, 20,000 pieces because it's a feed with a lot of followers, virtually doesn't cost us anything, which is also why we are taking over all the mint costs and mint fees for any Algorand NFT drop. It's a bit different when we are going into like collections that are Polygon based or Ethereum based. Obviously, the economics are just different. So
Yes.
usually we do those for bigger artists. But Algorand is really, from a tech spec, it's just amazing how scalable and how fast it is. Also, it's a very different user experience to Ethereum, to be honest.
Okay. Okay. It's fast and cheap.
Fast and cheap, yeah, very scalable.
Okay. 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 Good to know. And you said that. So I really like the fact that you are paying the gas fee for the users to improve their experience. Of course, you cannot do it for Ethereum NFTs collection. If not, it would be very expensive. In this scenario, how does it work? Like, is the artist paying for the fees for the users, or users have to pay their own fees? How?
Yeah, so for Ethereum NFTs, we so far only did paid NFT drops. So it was actually a fee that the fan had to pay to mint one of these NFTs, and then we just took the gas fees or the minting fees out of the Limewire share, pretty much. Bit of different economics. Like any post or anything that is minted on the platform, that's why we are not doing this with Ethereum, because it would probably be, I'm pretty sure very quickly we would be bankrupt if we minted every single post of every single artist on Ethereum. But on a case by case basis, especially for bigger paid drops, it definitely makes sense because it's just a very large ecosystem. You just have to admit it's like the number one NFT ecosystem. There's most of the volume happening. So yeah.
Okay. And one more question about Algorand and Algorand ecosystem. Like, uh, I have some struggle to see what on which subject this blockchain is focusing, and like So is this big for NFT, and what is the use
Yeah.
case for Algorand? Like, what are the other project on Algorand?
So they're actually doubling down a lot on the NFT space now. They were, I don't know if you saw for the Football World Cup, for the FIFA
Yes.
NFT collections, they were partnering. They were the
Yeah.
main blockchain partner for all the FIFA World Cup NFTs. And they are also doing a lot in the music space now. So music space is really their NFT niche that they're focusing on, which is also why we partnered up with Algorand very quickly.
Okay.
So yeah, quite interesting actually.
Okay. And why not choosing a solution like Arweave for NFTs?
We So I don't want to disclose too much, but we are currently looking into a couple of other chains,
Okay.
just because you need to, there's two things, right? You need to have an infrastructure, which we have in place now for artists that come to the platform, that you just want to provide something. And that's what we have now. That's the easiest way for any artist to start their Web3 experience, in my opinion. But then you also got to think, in my opinion, the other way around, because there are artists, there's ecosystems in different chains already. So you just need to think about how to get those users onto your platform obviously there's the big ones to talk about, right? Like Solana, for instance, like Polygon. There is a lot of creation, a lot of artist content floating around on those chains already, which is why we obviously also for this year have it on the roadmap to look into other chains for sure.
And all of your artists are musicians, or I don't know if I'm a painter, or like can I deploy my NFT collection as well, or
We have a really, really big roster of very, very different types of artists, to be honest. So last year, we really started out with music artists, obviously because Limewire is such a heavily associated brand in the music space, right? But in terms of content, it's now already very agnostic. So we have artists that are hosting video content, behind the scenes content. Some of them are doing podcasts on a monthly basis. They just upload the entire episode onto Limewire. So very different types of contents. Most of the big artists are still somewhat music related, but we even have YouTube creators on the platform. There's very, very different content creator types. And that's, I think, the beauty about it, because we are still a bit in the learning process, figuring out what kind of creator and what kind of artist really will eventually use it in the long run. But so far, it really looks like everybody's trying to play with it and figuring it out and building their Web3 following and fan base, which is also, to be honest, what the old Limewire has been about, right? It has been about music, but also about videos and movies, different types of content and digital formats that you could upload and use. So that's pretty much what we set out to do now again, not to focus only on one type of content again.
So you finally managed to build a platform to monetize artist content, and yeah, not only their art, but like their private life or behind the scenes life, and
Yeah, it completely depends on the artist, like really what they want to share. But I think it's a very straightforward way for them to share exclusive content, especially with their super fans, right? Because you most likely as an artist, you don't go to Instagram and monetize your content on Instagram. You just want to like create a big following. But
Yeah.
what's important for them, especially for the independent artists in the music and also in the music or video and movie industry, is really to figure out how can they filter out their core fan base, their super fans, monetize on those, and provide them with something with a utility or access to content that nobody else really gets. And that's the tough bit, because especially as an independent artist, you need to figure out ways to pay for your art, to pay for your living, to work on your art. And I think that's just a very neat way to have that journey together with your super fans.
Yeah, okay. It's really cool. I want to be an artist now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Come on, Limewire, try it out.
Yeah, no. But and do you have any partnership going on, or
Yeah, a whole range actually. So probably the most prominent is with Universal Music Group.
okay, really cool.
That's a really, really fun one, actually. The whole story is really interesting because,
Tell
if
us.
you know the Limewire story a bit, it's they were one of the ones that sued the old Limewire platform in 2010 around
Okay.
it, and caused pretty much the downfall of the initial platform. And we reached out to them last year again, very early last year, and had a lot of discussions with them around Web3 and how we could like build something together. And eventually stroke a global partnership deal with them, so we can bring any Universal Music artist onto Limewire. We can license the entire content catalog of UMG, which is pretty amazing.
That's a big partnership.
That's a big partnership for sure. And I also have to say they're really embracing the entire movement, because obviously this is something which is disrupting their business model in a certain way. But they are really forward looking and try to work in the Web3 space as well, which definitely makes sense.
You have to adapt in order to survive. Huh?
100%, yeah. It's probably not easy for a big corporate like Universal Music, but they definitely try. Yeah, so it's definitely cool to work with them for sure.
Yeah, it's like Apple doing his 4% yield account with Goldman Sachs.
Yeah, that has been a bold move. Yeah, I have to admit that.
Yeah. And what about like DeFi or NFT-fi partnership? Like if those NFTs have a big value, could you consider using them as collateral to borrow assets and buy more NFTs maybe? Or like, is this something you consider or?
I mean, what will definitely be interesting is what I described before with the pay-per-view model and the advertising revenues being redistributed to holders.
Okay.
So that's definitely a concept that goes into that direction. But apart from this, we perceive ourselves not so much as the actual trading platform of those assets. It's much more a gamified universe for any fan. So you don't primarily come to Limewire to only trade assets. You come to Limewire because you like the artist, because you like the content, and then off the back of that, you start collecting the items. You start sharing it with other fans. Maybe at some point it's going to go in that direction into the DeFi world, but at the moment I rather see it as a very mainstream and consumption-based platform. Yeah.
And how does it work to tokenize advertisement? Like,
I can't go into too much detail because it has been quite a lot of work also on the regulatory front to figure that out. But the long story short is, if you are on the platform and you haven't subscribed to an artist, that's a simple form, but you still want to watch that content. So let's say a YouTube creator puts an exclusive video on Limewire and you want to watch that video, you can just unlock it for, let's say, 10 cents or 5 cents for a one-time view or for like a week. And all these revenues that are being generated through the pay-per-view model will be redistributed to every NFT holder of that asset. So if that video has 100 NFT holders, they get all the revenue that is being generated by the video. And obviously, the more rare the item and the longer it exists, the more revenue you can actually make with holding one of these NFTs, which then also is interesting for the secondary market.
That's really cool. And what can prevent me from creating 50 accounts and subscribing with those 50 accounts to the same artist and trying to farm all the profit from advertisement?
Yeah, we would see very quickly where the dynamic is coming from. So trust me, there's ways to test it. Obviously, you could do this, but you probably wouldn't be like your content, which you're sharing online, probably wouldn't end up being viewed a lot on our platform. I can promise that already. It will be easy to generate followers with your own accounts. It will not be easy to generate a lot of revenue from it.
Okay. just check-up questions, you know.
Finding the loopholes.
Yeah. Okay, that's really cool. Is there any other features you want to talk about, or any other key points?
No, I think the most interesting one is really the launch of the token and integration on the platform. I think that's going to improve the user experience even more with all the gamification elements. You can also earn rewards then in Limewire token. When you hold token on the platform and you're an active member, you get rewarded for being vocal about an artist and sharing their content on social media platforms, for instance, so that more users come into the artist feed and follow the artist. So there's a lot of elements we play around with.
You are
And
incentivized to shield the artist.
pretty much, yeah. I mean, it also makes sense, right? Because if you're one of the early followers, you want a
Yeah,
lot more people to view the content because you're one of the shareholders almost of the content. So it's pretty
yeah.
much this circular economy we are creating with the token on the platform. So yeah, so I'm really looking forward to the launch. It's going to be a very interesting one next week, especially with the public sale and then the listing. So very much looking forward to that.
Nice. And yeah, so you are basically creating ambassadors for artists.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, I think it's a much closer bond than between artist and fan than you would have on the regular subscription or social media platform, because obviously you have a completely different incentive as a fan to share the content. And yeah, also nice for the artist, right? You need those early adopters, those evangelists that are being very vocal about you as an artist.
Okay, that's really cool. Is there any other crypto project you are interested in, or any other NFT projects that you follow carefully? Or
There's quite a lot. I probably one that I really like. He's gonna laugh if he hears it. Also based in France, actually. A very good friend of mine is working on Dogami, which is
yeah, Bilal.
sorry.
Bilal.
No, it's Max, the founder, actually.
Okay,
So that, in my opinion, that's a really amazing project. They're working very closely also with the Sandbox,
yeah,
which are doing an amazing job. I've been working with them, or had a couple of calls with the Sandbox as well in the past months. So these kind of combinations, this connection towards the metaverse almost, that's very interesting. That's going to be, I think, in the next bull cycle and the next bull market. These are the ones that will be very cool to be close to. Yeah. So don't want
so
to
you
don't
are,
want to give too much advice, but I think those are going to be
of
the
course,
very interesting.
never. So yeah, but you are bullish on gaming and metaverse in particular, or?
Yeah, 100%. It's also very interesting because when we talk to our investors or partners of ours, which are now thinking about investing in the Web3 space, gaming is really one of the key topics. So it's a lot about the creator space. It's a lot about like getting the mainstream into the Web3. And then the second topic is a lot about gaming. I'm not so sure yet about all the metaverse topics because I think we are very far from actual good user experience in the metaverse.
Yeah.
But gaming is definitely very close. Yeah.
Yeah. And do you consider building a partnership with Metaverse, Sandbox, you quote it, or another one where you could bring your artists there and their community? And is
We
it
did
something?
already, actually. We did
Okay.
last year, November. We had a main stage at the Metaverse Music Festival on the Central End.
Okay.
We also have a Limewire Stadium in the Central End, which is pretty awesome. That's
Okay.
very, very fun to watch. And we actually it was pretty fun, actually. We had a headline artist performance from Soldier Boy, and we
Okay.
did a complete 3D avatar, like moving capture recording before. So he was actually performing for 45 minutes or so. We were capturing everything in these, like these green boxes where you pretty much analyze the entire avatar with 20 different cameras or so. And then his avatar, pretty much his movements were in the metaverse on Decentraland. So it was really fun. But then again, I mean, if you are being completely objective, it's so far from an actual Web2 experience or
Yeah,
watching a
it's
stream.
very ugly. It's hard to, yeah, it's not ready. But
Yeah, it's not there yet. It's not there yet, but
yeah.
it's exciting to try it out. I think it's just a fun engagement with the fans and the
Mm.
communities. Yeah.
Yeah, what I like about gaming and NFT is like it's a Troy horse. It's a good way to bring Web2 users to Web3, and
Yeah.
way more than with Aave and Curve. And yeah, and as you are doing like with like you are creating wallet for users, they don't even know they have wallet, they don't even know you are paying gas fee for them. You don't talk about NFT, it's just about content and fans engagement. And yeah, I think it's really good for the crypto adoption, that player like you guys are doing it.
100%. Yeah, I think that's the only way to go about it. You shouldn't, if you want to approach the mainstream, I think you shouldn't talk too much about NFTs or gas fees or any of the technical language. You should
Yeah.
just provide a user experience, and they need to learn themselves that there is advantages of holding NFTs.
A bit like Reddit.
Yeah.
Reddit was the first one to do that, like with this digital collectible stuff. They allow a lot of users to mint their NFTs
Avatar.
without knowing
Yeah.
it was NFTs and stuff, and they did a good job on this, and yeah, you are doing a good job as well. So
Let's hope. Let's hope. Yeah.
so yeah, Marcus, I have no more question. I don't know if we have some question from the chat. Chat has been quiet so far, and if not, unless you want to add something, I will close the.
No. Thanks. Thanks a lot for having me, or like having Limewire here as a guest. It was really nice speaking
Yeah,
to you. Yeah, I can only recommend anybody, because it's so close now with next week, to check out lmwr.com. But you posted the link already.
yeah,
Apart from this,
yeah,
very much looking forward to the launch. Yeah.
yeah. So we will repost the link and so on our social networks as well. And thank you very much, Marcus, for coming on the podcast. And wish you the best with the launch next week.
Perfect. Thank you. Have a good one. Bye bye.
Cheers. See you.